There is one problem that is holding people back the most, including myself, and that is basically the lack of clarity. Because if you are not clear on what you should focus on in the first place, then you are very scattered and you are constantly feeling like lost, feeling overwhelmed, and stressed by a lot of different things. Why do I say overwhelmed? Because overwhelm, it doesn't really come from focus. Like burnout doesn't come from focus, but it comes from doing too many things. And if you are not clear on what to do, then you automatically do a lot of different things. So when it comes to the clarity, it is very, very confusing. Because if you are like a consumer on YouTube and you see all of these different people, all of these different marketing tactics, like what you're doing is wrong because of reason. Instead, what I would recommend is this mechanism, which is also like their offer, of course. Why this is better is because of benefit. So then you think, oh, this person is ahead of me, in business. They definitely know what they are talking about. So I should probably listen to them. But then the thing is, if you just stick to that, like first there will be basically it is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. What will happen is, first when you start it, your confidence is going like really high because you think, this is going to be my breakthrough, this is how I can become rich, this is how I can like quit my 9-to-5, become free. But then you will start to face like certain problems, and then it will basically like go down, your confidence, and you will reach a point that is basically the valley of despair, where you think like, what is the point, like what am I even doing? And then what most people do is they pivot, because then another marketer who is also ahead of them, they are saying like, hey, that your way, what you're doing is wrong. Why? Because of reason. Instead, try this new thing, what is actually also their offer. Why this is better is because reason. And a lot of people, they keep like, they picking something and they are become really excited, but then they face a bottleneck or a challenge they don't know how to get around. And then what do? They just pick a new shiny object and the cycle happens like all over again. So there is a lot of noise, there is a lot of confusion. But what helped me the most is not blindly copying others, not following others, but really look at it from my own perspective. So for example, if I didn't really know, because when I started like a business, I didn't really like to do the sales part, because it just didn't feel aligned with like my principles. So the thing with this is like, when I started to do sales, like I had an offer because I knew what was valuable. I had solved a very valuable problem for myself, which was the ability to focus. So I had something that I could deliver to other people, what I could help other people with. That was the first. I also, through trial and error, knew how to get leads because I built like an social media and like an online presence. And back then it was like on X, I had like 1,500 followers. But the conversion part was missing. I didn't know how to actually like make a good offer, what flow I could guide them through in order to get like money, in order for them to become like paying customers. So I listened to a lot of different sources. I listened to my mentors. I listened to people like Alex Hormozi, Andrew Kirby, everyone, people who are very good in sales. And all of them were basically like saying like, yeah, you have to handle objections, you have to force the sale, do all of that stuff. But that didn't feel like really good. or aligned with what I was doing, because I worked like a sales job in the past, door to door. That was not really fun. Hello. The sales job was not really fun, not really good, because I didn't stand behind that product, and kind of because of that sales job I built a resentment towards sales, and I didn't want to do it in that way anymore. But there was so much doubt, so much concern, because I didn't want to do it that way, but all of the other people who I looked up to, they said, yeah, you just have to do it like this, because otherwise it doesn't work. But then I started to look at my own situation. Like, I started to really look good at what times did I buy something. You know, did people force me into the sale? Were they able to manipulate me, etc.? No. You know, if I hopped on a sales call with somebody who I networked with, who I already built a connection with, and they were trying to force me into making a decision, it basically ruined the connection, and I basically didn't want to talk about them and didn't want to talk to them anymore, because it's like they ruined the connection. And then looking at the times where I did buy something, you know, what did they do? Like, and every time when I bought something, when I hopped on a sales call, I already made up my mind before even going on the call. I was like, yes, this person connected with me already, you know, I have a good connection with them, and all of these people, they made like a very valuable lead magnet, for example. And so I already knew, like, and that this lead magnet, of course, they gave away for free. So I already knew that they knew that what they were talking about, because of this very valuable lead magnet. And so the first time when I ever bought something online, and before this I was very skeptical, because I got scammed a couple of times when I was like a teenager. So I didn't really trust anything like on the internet, online. But what was the first time when I did buy something, that was basically like a course from Denko. That was a 2-hour writer. And why did I buy that? Well, because he already like gave like a ton of value on his YouTube for free, gave me a lot of clarity, and so he built trust with that, because I was like, oh, he already delivered a bunch for free, you know. Then I started basically posting on X also because of him. Then the second thing I bought was basically like a paid community, but that was like $50 per month. Why did I buy that community? Well, because they had like a giveaway of like a swipe file of many different all of the top creators, and that was very valuable. So after he delivered that, I was like, if he gives this for free, then I am really curious what their paid thing would look like. So that is also then then I bought, it was basically in this low ticket community. Third time when I bought something was like way more expensive. That was a one-on-one mentorship. Why did I basically invest in that mentorship? Well, because he had a lead magnet. He had a free course. If you would sign up to his newsletter, you would get that free course. It was so big, so detailed, gave me a ton of value, clarity, and even like actionable steps. So I was like, yeah. So when I was hopping on a sales call, like, I already made up my mind. I was like, I'm going to buy this mentorship. So when I was looking at my own perspective, at like my own situation, I was like, they didn't force me into making a decision. And if I am like this, you know, if I buy things without them having to force something, there are other people like me. Because like even though like you think you are unique, there are a lot of like-minded people similar to you. And how the algorithm and networking works in general is it connects like-minded people. It is way easier to find like-minded people, and because of the internet, because of how everything works. So it even happens automatically. You don't even have to search them, because it will just happen. If you hang around in the places on the internet where you want to hang out, then there are more people like you. Same with like the YouTube, right? So that is why some content resonates very deeply with you, because of the algorithm. It's really smart. So with that in mind, of like, hey, maybe there are more people like me, I just started to take this approach of like, how can I like deliver so much value that I don't need to do sales, that I don't need to handle objections, that I don't need to manipulate, that I don't need to force the sale. And then I basically came to the conclusion of like, so what if I just hop on a call with them? And I already make like valuable content. I am not holding anything back, like I'm just sharing a lot of value in these things. Also with the community that I have, you know, I just give advice. I'm not gatekeeping anything. So I started to hop on calls with people and ask them about their current situation, where they are now, their desired situation, where they want to go, and their biggest bottleneck. What is the thing stopping them from getting from where they are now to where they want to be? And yeah, basically once I have that information, I have a lot of context around where they are at, and then I can, based on my experience, give them advice, give them like a value. So what I did was I created a customized roadmap for these people that would take them from where they are now to where they want to be, and made it extremely valuable. And then basically on the call I would give that away for free for them, basically. And when I would give that away for free, you know, after that I basically simply explained what it would look like for me to help them implement this roadmap. And I don't force the sale, I don't handle the objections, but if they get a lot of clarity from the roadmap, then for me it made sense that they would just appreciate my help with implementing that. And that is exactly what happened, because from implementing this entire system, this conversion funnel that is really low friction, you know, it doesn't ruin the connection or your reputation, it only builds it and it makes it stronger. So what results did it get me? Well, first of all, I made a ton of connections with these people. You know, second of all, I built a lot of goodwill, because I was giving things away for free, and that goodwill led to me getting a lot of referrals and a good word of mouth effect that got me like these exponential results. That is how I went from my first client from $100 to my first 10k month in only 7 months, just because of the system. And this was only because I basically like listened to my own perspective, and like looked at what times did I want to make an offer, what times did I buy something, you know, when somebody made an offer. So like when you are watching this, and when you are so basically what I'm trying to say is, the way to get clarity is, don't listen to all of that noise. Don't listen to everyone like telling you this and that and that. Just listen to your own situation, basically. Listen to your own feelings, and like take an example from that. That cuts through the noise better than anything. So yeah, Like, don't listen to all of these marketers. Like, the best guide is like yourself. Listen to many others, get inspired, but like copy none. Just listen to yourself.